Okay, so okay, let's start with let's see our schedule for this. So what we will talk about is that we will talk about skill sets of specific innovation, and then we will discuss about current campaigns and how to improve it. And then we will talk about your pivot and experiments, and we also will discuss the important issues on the discussion management. So I think I want to try this. So let's discuss on our campaigns and pivot and your activities from the last week and the result, and of course the lesson that you get from your activities. And then if you have any question or any things that need to be discussed in depth. So please write it down here in the discussion paper. So I guess this is the just general notes for us to record the next week priority. Okay, so if you want to add more discussion, please just write it down here. Okay, let's start then. Okay, what we are going to talk about is we will talk about the campaigns that we are focusing on in marketing, which is partnership campaign. We have quite a few of campaigns like online canvassing, website campaign. These are mostly on improving the awareness SLA. We won't talk about this right now because we have already reported this on the partnership squad scrum. So if you want to see and discuss that, please join on that scrum every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Bali time. Okay, let's talk about these campaigns. Let's go to this is should be Nadine, but I think Gani can you cover for Nadine, Gani, since you are also active in the online canvassing group? What's happening in this campaign in the last week?
Okay, Mas Bayu, thank you very much. In the last week, so I just count from the Google Sheet from online canvassing. So basically, last week we got 69 leads, and if I'm not mistaken, there is 4 MQL. Yeah, I think the number is just that, Mas Bayu. So is there anything? Yeah, 4 MQL, Mas Bayu, for online canvas.
Okay, for MQL. Okay, it means that the online canvassing is our biggest effort, but I think it's the lowest contributor to the awareness. Is that right?
The biggest contribution is still online canvassing and referral, Mas Bayu. So the online canvassing is still keep producing, but it's around 5 each week. Around 5.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. The total MQL that we get this month is 26 MQL. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, and 4 is from online canvassing.
Oh, that's for July, Mas Bayu. You're talking about July, right? This last week, right?
Oh, I see. Okay, so only last week you get 4, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I see. Sorry, that's my bad. Okay, so last week we got 4 MQL from the online canvassing. What has been changed on the online canvassing last week?
What has been changed is I believe Aldrey already implement the air table, so we are in the process of transferring our documentation dates on the new table. That's number one, and the second is I think the method, the best practice, and so on is still same as by you. So they are around 4 canvasser and 2 approacher. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Oh, by the way, is there anyone that have the recording capabilities?
Me.
Maybe Risa. Oh, you are already recording, yeah. Sorry,
Yep.
didn't see that. Right now. Okay. Okay, Gani. So there. Wait. Let me see. So basically, I saw that there are new approaches. I think with Kyla and some other people on the online canvassing group, right? Uh,
Kaita and Christabel, yes.
yeah, Kyla, can you tell us what is the difference between each approach that you've done, and is there any lesson that we get from there from all the different approach that we implement?
Okay, good morning, everyone. So,
Running?
you're asking about the approach, right, Mas Bayu? This one.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the differences between the approach is maybe um, what I conclude for most is it the timing is very important actually, as we
Mhm.
have concluded from the last discussion on flag. The timing is actually still the most important aspect because if we can start early, then we can proceed early too. Sometimes there are partners who actually want to set up the meeting like in the afternoon or the night before in the same day. So timing is important. And also I've learned something about the method. So as you can see, there are two methods, Bukit Vista and Marketer. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there's Andreas in here, so Bukit Vista, when you use the method of being a Bukit Vista agent, then it means you announce yourself as someone from BD, from business development, and you sell service. But if you use the method of being the marketer, then you use the approach of actually trying to set up the meetings first without saying that you're from Bukit Vista. So yeah, it's the differences is between whether you announce yourself from Bukit Vista firsthand or not, and the differences is actually some of the property owners that I've approached, they really appreciate it if we use the Bukit Vista. They appreciate the Bukit Vista method because they know where we stand. They know whether they can decide firsthand whether they want to hear more about us or not. But I have to admit that most of the property owners that I've approached, they're more interested when we're using the method of marketer. So they want to engage more because some partners, some property owners just straight up like, all right, you're an agent, we don't want to hear from you. You're from property management, we don't want to hear from you. Yeah, that's what happens if you're using the Big Vista method. So what I did for my previous engagement is I combined the two. Like, of course, from to gain the interest, I asked whether there's the availability of the villas and when they start to ask when will I visit the villa, when will I book it, then I announce myself as Bukit Vista agent. So yeah, that keeps the conversation going. And actually, I learned this from Kak Nadine's method. Yeah, I think that's it.
Mm. Okay, so that method has proven to get us more engagement or proven to get us more conversion, Kayla.
Um, the marketer really gives us really can be proven to get us more engagement, but to really have the partnership, the conversion, I think we should stick up with Bukit Vista. And right now I'm currently working on making a template like the questions like how we should connect with them because actually it's crucial right now. So yeah, I'm still thinking how to combine the two and keep the conversation going and convert to MQL.
Hmm, I see. Okay, that's interesting. So, what about Christabel? You do the same same method with Kyla, or are you doing a different method?
Actually, it's similar to Kaila's, but I didn't actually like mention that I am from Bukit Vista, so I wait for them to ask me who am I, because when I told them that hi, I'm from Bukit Vista, then they tend to like judge me as a agent like that. So for me, it's better to just leave them to don't know where from what company am I from like that. I think that's the difference between mine and Kyla's.
Hmm. Interesting. Is there any comments on the new method that we are trying in the online canvassing? Is there any misalignment between the company mission and also uh, the the actual practice that we do on the frontier by the people that actually doing the outreach? Wayana, what do you think about this method? Is this a method will help us in long term, or is there any drawbacks of this method?
I think there is a pros and con in there. So in the beginning, I understand that the approach is one of engagement, but sometimes the transition is actually a bit awkward. Like from asking from the guest side and then into like you actually someone looking for manage a place. So yeah, so I see a lot of awkward is in the transition from approaching from being a guest to like you actually talking to them. But um, instead of uh, doing that, I think just be frank. I think hey, I'm looking for partner that uh, in Canggu or whatever because I have a lot of what is called like unconverted inquiry. So this is what kind of villa that you're looking for. That I think you are like one that match our need. So I'm interested in talk about business what we can do this. Normally that's how my
Hmm.
approach. So okay, Jing have a comment.
Okay, there's a few things I'd like to ask. Let's see, where do I begin? There's so many actually. Uh, One, Bayu, do you think by having, let's say, remember what we discussed about leadership last week on Friday, right? By having, let's say, some people who are new to the group start working on, let's say, the frontline type work, they're able to discover new insights. Is that hypothesis proved by Kyla's work?
Yep.
Okay, all right, good, good, good. Okay, so that should be a practice we carry out to leadership, right? Whenever we get new people, we should have them engage with the frontline work so that they can discover insights. That's one. Two, has Kyla basically discovered that essentially the response time to an inquiry and our ability to convert that, that timing has a lot to do with our success in being able to turn MQL into a partnership? I guess I'm asking Bayu on this one.
Okay. I think that's not proven yet, since
Okay.
we are in the very early stage, converting from
Uh,
contact into a meeting first. So
I see.
and
Okay.
from what we see here is that if we approach the leads in the morning, there's a higher chance to be responded because the contact still have a long day. To reply for the
Yes.
message. So
Okay.
I
Got it.
guess okay. I guess it's logical because like for example, like if I get a message in the afternoon, for example, I already busy on that day, right? And
Right.
then
Right.
I would try to okay, I will reply later, and then
Yep.
I will forget because I need to go to dinner, and then the next day already forget about the message. So
Yep.
I think
Yep.
this
Correct.
makes sense and prove a
Okay.
point.
All right. Very, very good. And then the third point was how you identify yourself and what sort of how do you get it correct. So I think in regards to what Christabel just said, there is short term and there is long term, and we need to be able to balance that correctly. I'll give you an example how to do that. So of course, if we represent ourselves as a guest or as some other party and partner talks to us and they agree. I don't think that's a deep agreement. That's just, that's just doing like, how to say, I used to work in a marketing company, and this company would go, and the marketers, these people on the street would get like shoppers in Kuta to just go into a taxi. They would promise them all kinds of stuff, right? Just come into the taxi. We'll take care of everything. We'll give you a free DVD player, all this stuff, right? And then when we who worked in the sales had to process these people, you have these terrible leads, right? Which aren't very helpful. So I don't think necessarily that Christabel's thought process of, okay, let's say whatever we need to say in order to get somebody in works. And it's also, I think, a assumption that when you represent yourself as Bukit Vista, people will be off-put because they think we're property managers or something. I think the best way, my example to put this was kind of like what Wayana said, represent yourself as a short-term and long-term value. So short-term wise, you can say, hey, look, we've got a bunch of inquiries right now. We're not able to convert these. You seem to have a villa that can actually take some guests. Do you want to work together to make some money right now? Simple as that, right? Like, I mean, why would anyone say no to that? That seems like a pretty fair offer. Oh, and by the way, long-term wise, I saw that there's potential in your property to become a long-term partner here. We're very selective about who we actually choose, but I think if we have a discussion about it, maybe that would result in continuous earnings. What do you think about that? Simple as that. Said with confidence, done the correct way, I think has enormous short-term and long-term value. Then people don't see you as an agent, which commonly in Indonesia means a person who just kind of comes in real quick, makes a quick deal, and then leaves, right? But you do actually do a short-term and a long-term proposal. That, I think, changing your messaging improves a lot, rather than having self-doubt, right? And questioning your brand, questioning your company, questioning your own approach. When you do that in marketing, you're never going to be able to see much success, right? You got to believe in the actual work that you do. Okay, anyways, I'll turn that back to, that's my response to Bayu's question, yeah? What kind of long-term, short-term method in alignment with the mission?
Okay, thank you, Jing, for your input. Kayla, I think you and the team have some feedback and probably inspiration from that. Please take a note, and let's bring it back to our meeting for the online canvassing. Okay.
Oh, one last thing, Bayu.
Yes.
I'd like to recognize Kyla actually. I think Kyla, your work there is actually pretty. It's a breakthrough, right? Because for a long time, I think we've been working on online canvassing, but we haven't been able to discover, okay, what is the correct strategy to implement, right? What is the correct timing, message, audience, and channel to use? And through this particular exercise, I think we've discovered a little bit more about that. I hope I'll tag you on the all hands, and I hope you can tell the rest of the company about some of this breakthrough that you've had, because we need similar breakthroughs in other channels as well. The other thing is communication is about 90% of our work these days. If you really think about it, it is like how we actually engage, and having a correct strategy, figuring out what audience, what message, what timing, what channel, that is essentially how we innovate. And I think if Kyla's, let's say, results prove to be accurate, then we have discovered messaging quickly in the morning, doing this effort. This is really great, right? Because this achieves work-life balance and all kinds of very big benefits to everybody else. We don't have to spread our work throughout the entire week. We can just concentrate it in a particular time, and that's where we maximize results. And that inspires delight.
Okay, Kayla, that's for you. Okay.
Sorry for interrupting. So I'd like to thank Mr. Jing for acknowledging me, but actually I'd like to shout out for Andres, because he's the one who managed the spreadsheet. He's the one who made me able to do the timing. He was the one, so I think it's more for him. So yeah, thank you, Andres.
Hey, good job, Kyla and Andreas, being transparent. That's awesome. Okay, all right, very cool. Thank you, Andreas, as well then.
By the way,
details matter, Andreas.
Talking about that, Andreas also have, I think, proposing an innovation, right, on how we do things in online canvassing. So as we notice here, there are some problems later in when we use this kind of document, right? This document didn't connect with Trello and other and contacts and other platform that we can use later, right? So, Andreas, do you want to introduce to the others about what you have been working these last few days?
I've okay. To be honest, I don't feel like this is 100% my idea, Kabayu, because the one who introduced to us the new platform, which is Airtable, is actually you. But I guess thank you because yeah, I think I kind of have a role in our discussion about the our platform is which is not connecting. So I guess I should just share screen about the new platform then.
Yeah.
Or okay. Can you see the screen? My screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So currently, our problem before using this new platform is that we use a lot of duplicate data. For example, we are using Google Sheets, Trello, and something like Dropbox Paper, but usually the data from the Google Sheet we also duplicate it to Trello, and from the Trello itself, there is also a case of duplicating from one card to another. So that's a problem because it's usually hard to connect one another, and for that, Kabayu proposes a new platform solution, which is Airtable. Like this, in Airtable, we can connect and we can use a lot of data visualization and processing using just one database. Like for example, this one is the new database for Canvasser, online canvassing. As you can see, this is starting from July the 1st. This is the data, but from just one of these database, we can process it to, for example, this is only the filter, right? The filter for database which is not confirmed owner and not contacted owner. But keep in mind that this is the duplicate view of the OG original data. So this is not exactly duplicate data, just a duplicate view. All of this view is connected to the first database. Also, not only we can use the Google Sheets kind of visualization, we can also use visualization just like in Trello. As you can see here, this is what I visualized the data based from the properties that the canvasser have input, and the second filter being the status of the property itself. So this will certainly help the approacher to know which property that hasn't been contacted yet, much easier than using the grid one. And also since we already have the agreement on which approacher should do the canvasser, like for example, Kyla is assigned on Andreas and Audrey. Kyla can just monitor the properties that hasn't been contacted yet, or and so on Andres and Audrey. She doesn't need to see the Zaki and Asawan. That's on Christabel Pro. That's it on the online canvasser sheet. And currently, we are still working on how to implement a framework for the MQL and for the leads countdown, basically, because there's still some major thing that needs to be done. For example, this is Kabayu work on outreach or not, and we're still trying to find if there is a great framework from the existing sheet that we have currently in. For example, the one I've implemented, which is this one. Yeah, this one. I don't think. I think there will be some improvement from the one that we have already implemented, but it's still in construction. I'll let you know if they're done. But For now, I think for the canvasser itself, it's pretty much done. Although I think there's still room for improvement. I think we can already use this to for canvasser for input data and data visualization. I think that's for me. And the conclusion is that Airtable is indeed great to marketing chapter, and I'm sure this will prove to be useful to other chapter as well.
Okay.
Also, shout out to Kabayu for introducing us to this new idea.
Okay. No worries, Andrea. So basically, uh, just remember with the problem and activity and tools, right? So the tool doesn't matter. The tool is easy to find. There are like hundreds of them. The thing that matter is that you actually spot a problem, right? And then you want to solve it. If we have known Airtable for maybe 1 year, 2 year, but it doesn't matter because we don't have any problem that discovered that can be solved with this tool, right? So if this is a real problem and you think that there's an opportunity to fix it to make it a better approach, then it's the idea that matter, not only on the tools. So that is why I think your initiative is good, Andreas. It's not just focusing on using the shiny tools, but also actually solving a problem. Okay, now this project for everyone. This project is early, right? We want to prove that this can be implemented easily, right? And I think it's pretty. It's pretty straightforward to be used. It's basically a replacement for Google Sheet and Trello and combine them into one. At least, but actually there's more to that. Like we can combine actually Google Calendar as well into this platform and some other visualization tool that we are currently using. Okay, we scheduled this to be tested in a week, and on Thursday we will decide whether we want to continue testing this or not. We want to implement it first in the online canvassing, because online canvassing is the first interface that data coming into us, like leads, like contacts, for example. If this is working on online canvassing, we will continue that into the MQL tracking, into the lead processing, basically. And then by doing that, we don't need to create another card, another details on the leads countdown board. We don't need to create another card for the PRM. Basically, everything is one data, and then we can see the history from the first time who did the online canvassing, even though it's 1 year after that property is acquired. So that will have a benefit for us, especially to analyze the data, right? If we have like 1,000 leads, for example, or 1,000 partner, for example, we can analyze it. Where are this coming from? Is it only from online canvassing, or is it actually online canvassing don't have any converted partnership? That's possible as well. We cannot say that right now because we don't know the data. But if we correctly arrange the data like this, then we can do that. We can analyze it. So if you are curious about this project, please contact Andreas. Andreas is open for collaboration. Currently, Andreas is working with some people, with Gani and Nadia as well, Nadine, to test this platform and to integrate their problems together to be solved together. And you can also join on the online canvassing Scrum. I think Andreas want to try to implement this starting from today. So please join on that. Okay, so that is the online canvassing campaign. Jing, you want to say something?
One last thing, I was referring to a leadership's discussion earlier, and it suddenly occurred to me that maybe not everybody understands the context. So let me explain real quickly. And I think this is one of the success cases. When we get new people, and this goes to senior people who have been here for a while, Wayana, Gani, Rizal, right? One of the best things I think we can do is actually allow them to do some of the work that we've been doing for a very long time. instead of, let's say, asking them to work on something else that is dependent upon our work. The reason why that's a good idea is sometimes when you bring in new people and they do the work, they start thinking about, can this work be done better? Especially something that is, let's say, as time consuming and repetitive as online canvassing. So if we do it, let's say, our traditional way, and we don't develop strategy or develop a method, and we just use brute force, adding more people to do it, then over time, we're not necessarily getting any better processes. And that doesn't inspire delight because we have not created a service yet that is actually evolved and innovative. But if we put new people in and we start asking them, look, this problem is taking up a lot of time, right? This problem is taking up a lot of our energy. We haven't been able to effectively solve it. You're here because we think you're smart. You're here and we will empower you. And can you find a better way to reduce the time, reduce the dullness, and improve the inspired delight? That's actually the spirit of inspired delight. When the moment happens where you realize there's a gas pedal in this metal box that you've been driving, right? And you were pushing the car, and somebody told you, hey, you press this gas pedal, the car will just go on its own. That to me is the magic of the internship program. That to me is the magic of why we bring really interesting people into the company to work alongside us. Okay, so I don't want anyone to forget that, because I think that's a big takeaway, and that also is some of the problems that we have. We don't necessarily put people in the right place. Put the newest people into the hardest problem, and let's see if they can actually solve problems for us. Yeah? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Jing. Is there anyone else that working on an initiative that support online canvassing other than Andreas? No? Okay, if no, then let's continue to the next campaign then, which is website campaign. Maybe the manager is Rizal. Rizal, can you give us an update on what's changed this week? Is there any change or is there any innovation this week? And is there any
Okay.
lesson that we can learn?
Okay, thank you, Mas Bio, for the floor. So, basically on the action points, so I will update the difference. So
Okay.
we, especially on awareness team, it's basically Zaki, Christabel, and Audrey, and also Andreas. We create a new idea to basically how to improve the awareness or the traffic to MMP itself. And basically there's some new traffic on the last week, which is from Sendgrid, it's from email marketing, and also from Pinterest and also LinkedIn. Sorry, that's for the overall. For this screenshot is for the overall June, but I will update the previous action point first that already done. That's the first thing. The difference, which is the new source of traffic. The second one is I've had Calendly integration from Nadine's calendar to MMP page because from the why I use Calendly, because it also can gather leads information such as email, phone number, and also description, and also it directly integrate to meeting basically. So it will shorten the journey of the leads itself that want to meeting with us. That's the second, and the third is the third one is a delegate maybe page analysis to Eriko to seek a new perspective from her side basically. And yeah, basically I believe it's still on the process. Please Eriko, if the analyzing is done, please share your finding on this card. And yeah, basically that's the update of the difference in action points. And I will share the problem. Yeah. So the problem is the leads is still low, and I believe there's low numbers of people. Sorry, in this month, there's 0 people schedule meeting through Form CTA. So that's the problem. And then the other things also is Nadine get some leads basically from WhatsApp, yeah. So as we can see, WhatsApp is the currently the best platform to generate leads from a website. But the problem is we don't know the real number, how many people is WhatsApping us. So it's not accountable. So that's the problem. The second is leads is still low. So I propose to I think like the solution is can be we can create another what is called another source to generate leads basically. So we try to create a pre-leads page, which is the name of this page is currently property management Bali page. That's the second problem. And the third problem is MQL. It's not also increase basically because the leads is still low, yeah. But I think what is called the Nadine initiative by visiting the property, the visiting the property is basically shorten the timing of the leads itself, because the leads is WhatsApping us and Nadine is directly come to the property. I think that's the short solution how to solve the MQL problem. And yeah, I think just that from me, Mas Bayu, for the general update. And yeah, the last one is June monthly traffic is improving based on the organic traffic. If you can open the screenshot, Mas Bayu, the summary of the page view is decreased, but the organic traffic is increasing about 47% compared to the last the month of May. I think that's the summary of the website campaign. Offer that to you, Mas Bayu.
Okay, so basically our traffic quality is increasing based on the organic search, but the problem is we cannot convert them. Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So the problem is could be typing into the form is too difficult for the user, right? Probably, right? Or not interesting enough for them to put commitment, right? So that could be. Oh yeah. By the way, we are using Hotjar, right? So have you seen on how actually people using that, or where do they stop? Are they stopping when they see the form and then they just leave the page, or what is the general action that they...
Okay, thank you for the question, Mas. For the general takeaways from Hotjar is basically on the top page is there's a hero and also video introduction with Bukit Vista, and the middle part is there's WhatsApp button and phone button, and also our service, that basically the what service that we offer. And the top section is there is pricing table, commission table, and CTA button for filling the form. So basically, a lot of audience is stopped on the middle section, which is on the service explanation and WhatsApp and phone section. That's the most of the leads is going. But on the bottom part is there's some leads is go to that section, but they only reading the commission plan, reading the commission package, reading the checklist and what they will get from this commission and so on and so forth. But there's zero that basically leads is typing or even go to the very bottom CTA. That's basically the takeaways from the Hotjar.
Okay. This is related to what Erico is trying to do here in the chatbot project, right?
Mm.
We have like a hypothesis that providing a live chat is will help interact with the user better, right? So I think Erico is starting a project to test that if this method would be proven or not. And I think this could help us in terms of engaging with a real user, right? So what we are testing with this one is we want to make sure that is there any proof that the user will type back to us, and then is there any proof that we can reply back to them? So this is the question that we need to answer before implementing it. Why? Because it is a new tool, right? But the problem is, can we use this tool or not? We don't have an HR person to handle that, and we don't know if we have a marketing person that can be always online to reply to that messages. And if that is the situation, how can we utilize this live chat tool to make sure that we have interaction with the visitor? So Erico is starting this testing this week, I guess. Erico, maybe we have the discussion. Maybe have you attached the paper here, Erico? We have a discussion on the Dropbox paper, right?
Yes, I attached the discussion already. It's the Dropbox discussion is already attached the paper. So so far, like I know Bayu just commented, and then I will refine based on the comments because I think it's missing the KPIs now. And then besides that, so just to give a very general brief picture is that based on as per our discussion, as per Bayu and my discussion last week. So what we decided was that, or what would be best is that perhaps we get the marketing interns on board to manage this live chat feature for a week, and we will test the interactions with the interactions with the live chat feature, whether there is sufficient demand, and if there is sufficient demand, what are consumers behavior towards certain things that we do. Like if we send them an automated reply that we already generate prior to this testing phase, what are their reactions to these messages, and also in the situation that we do not reply them immediately or take perhaps 10 minutes to reply them, what is their reaction? Do they leave and such? So these are things that we want to test within this 1 week, and that such that we get the interns on board. But now they are still a bit like admin stuff that I will settle, and by the end of this week, it will be done.
Okay, thank you, Erico. I think this is a good initiative to test this before we actually implement this. Rizal, can you make sure that this test is happening, and then we get the most of the answer? Basically, we really sure what we want to really do before we implement the full force and assigning a team to work on this.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Please coordinate with Erico as well, and we have the paper. And Erico, please reach out to Rizal as well to invite him to the discussion on the paper. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you. So that's the latest on the website. So the problem is probably UI or UX or anything that makes the user to interact with us. So let's continue with that. Is there any initiative, any pivot that's supporting this campaign from anyone else related to the website? No. Okay. By the way, since Zio is ending his internship period, we are handing over his responsibility in product development, website campaign. So Zio will be replaced by Nadia. Nadia also joining our meeting here. So what we are going to do is we are we're going to monitor on the performance, website performance, like speed, and then the image quality and things like that, right? And then we delegate to each chapter to manage their own page and optimize it. But if you need a technical support about the website, about the page, and how to modify it, you can always request a feature like usual on the website. So that's just an information for you. Okay, let's continue to the next campaign then. The freelance canvasser. Is there any notable updates on this result that we should talk about? Or
Okay. Thank you, Mas Bayu. So for the freelance converser, I just finished. I did the contract basically. So what is the difference is the change of the term itself from the early stage from canvassing, because previously we called it MQL, but we changed it into market leads term, because at the first stage is the leads is basically independently evaluated by the canvasser itself, but it's not evaluated by us. So we changed the term into market leads. And yeah,
okay.
Mas Bayu.
So basically, just in the overview, right? Is there any changes
Okay.
that giving us any result? What is the effect
change.
of the What is the effect of your action?
Okay. So for that action is basically no result yet, because I believe the candidate is not already signed the new contract. So the result from the change is not see yet.
Okay.
But we apa ya? We do a feedback basically, Mas. We do a feedback cycle, and I believe that can improve the MQL standard from the canvasser itself. So as we can see is there's two leads that verbally agree, and one leads that already signed MOU. I think that the only update.
Okay, so basically there's a result. There's an MQL that's gained from the freelancer. Is that right?
The MQL it's same, but the quality itself it's improving.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, what I mean is we get some lead, right, from the.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, that is the concern, Rizal. So, is because we are focusing on creating the relationship between the us and the freelancer, but we still don't know whether freelancer can actually work or not. I think if we want to. If you want to see quickly as a short term what do you call it? Like a solution, what we can do is actually we can just give them like 1 month probation, for example. They can create their own contract as long as you can prove that you can bring result what we want to get for a month, for example, right? And then after that we can go with the real contract, because I think if we are focusing on the contract itself, we will focus on the thing before the work is actually done, right? We're still not sure whether he can actually do the work or not. So let's do the opposite then. Let them work without any contract. We give them everything. We pay them expensive. That's fine, right? As long as they prove it.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we will deal with the contract later when the method is proven.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, thank you for the advice, Mas.
Okay, I think we can break the friction on this part by I guess spending more. I think that's fine rather than just stuck there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's from the freelancer part. Google My Business lead generation. Is there any? Okay, we have 7 minutes. So, is there any meaningful updates that we should talk about in this campaign?
Okay, thank you, Mas Rui. So basically, last month, since we regularly posting the SEO article, traffic going to website visit is 16% higher than last month, but the problem is still the same. The number of call and message is still same, even lower. But then another problem is again doesn't get the notification of the phone call that comes to the call info master. So I think the problem is on the call and message as well, Mas Bayu.
I see. Okay, what is the current message that we ask them to call?
So basically, when audience going out to our Google, so basically they read our information and then just we provide the apa namanya call button, so they just call without any call to action masih gitu. That's a
Oh,
yes.
yeah. What I mean is, what is our description? Is it the description that we are providing this service, and then so that the call button that they expect is if they need something for their villa, they will call us, or if they need to find a villa, they will call us.
Oh yeah. So
What is the current message?
yeah, so every post that we post on Google My Business, we always provide the call to action and call button and website visit Mas Bayu. So I think it's already pretty clear in the Google profile that we providing the faster communication system.
I see. Okay, management, yeah, villa management. Okay, I see. Is there any other initiative that support this campaign?
I believe Nadine and Chris is working solving the call info notification, but I haven't follow up yet, Mas. So
Oh,
probably
the call hippo, right?
yeah.
Yeah, call hippo is fixed. Basically, Nadine can receive that
Oh,
phone call now.
so yeah, hopefully it's solved problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, then let's continue to the next one. Okay, this one is interesting. I think this is from Kayla. Yeah, Kayla, is there any progress on this in the implementation of this project?
All right, so thank you, Kabayu. This is my update can be seen from the recent of the comments. So basically, there's not much to discuss actually in the span of 3 days from July 1st that I made the differences. Because the second version is not yet to be implemented, but I've asked feedbacks from both the HR and GM team, and from the MKT marketing representative. My notes are good, and I think it can be implemented. So there's the paper is now simpler and it has new addition parameters called technology. I think that's it, Kabayu. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So what do we want with this? We prefer the partner with familiarity with technology. Yeah.
Yes, so from my discussion with Katandi, for the long-term partner, they usually some just tend to refuse the Google Meeting, so they want to do it offline, and some just not sure how to familiarize themselves with our application. So it will certainly how to call it, yeah, it'll make our transformation progress slow down, and we want that in the partner, so we need to track it down upfront. So that's why we add the most recent parameters called technology.
I see. Is there any follow-up action from this? Like, for example, if the partner is not familiar with technology, do we have any alternative method other than the Google Meet?
Okay, so to detect it, yeah. To
What?
detect. I'm sorry, to
No, no,
detect the
not just
parameters.
detect. Sorry. So the follow-up from this this detection, basically. So from this evaluation, we know that whether the partner is familiar with technology or not, right?
Yes.
Okay. So is there any follow-up action that you get, like? If this is familiar, if this lead is familiar with technology, you will continue. If it's not, then should we abandon abandon, or do we have any other manual handler for these people, or we just abandon?
Okay, so interesting question because Mr. Jing was suggested for me to create. So in the property partners evaluation, we create the templates so the community team can make additional notes. So they can actually decide to give us the input whether we can proceed with the partners or not, since they're the one who handle the communication with the partner most of the time. So actually, the property and partner evaluation template is not used to make the final decision whether we proceed with the partner or not, but we also make the space for the community team to make inputs. So
I
I think
see.
that's it. Is that answer the questions?
Uh, yeah, sure. But I think there's a okay. The coordination should be in the partnership squad, right? Because we still don't know whether we we have an action based on this evaluation or not.
Right, that one. So currently, I'm still asking for feedback from Katendi because I've made the parameters, but I haven't get the green light from her. So yeah,
Okay.
I can do. Okay.
Okay then. Okay, thank you, Kyla. The last one is partnership pitch deck and presentation improvement. Okay, let me see. I'll ask Wayana. Wayana, is there any result that we see from changing the presentation?
Oh yeah. For the presentation, I think for this one is like a better method because we basically what we do is like instead of like people say what was service, so we find a common ground. Hey, this is your villa, and then
Wayana, I'm sorry to cut you there. So, is there any success or failure that we get from out of it? I think for the changes, we can read the changes from the evolution paper. But from your experience with real client, is there any notable changes in behavior for them as the audience?
yeah, there is. So I used it. Personally, I used it also in blue house. Yeah, probably agree. And also I used it for Rara, and then already signed an MOU. So you know, so that's
Okay.
two notable that based on my experience.
Okay, I'd like to go to Kyla. Kyla, what do you think the difference in their behavior in the partner's behavior after using uh, the new pitch deck compared to the old one?
Okay, so actually, we kind of use the same approach, that is to define the problems. Like we're trying to engage them by flooring out their problems, right? But the differences is from the former pitch deck, we kind of just generalize the problems, but in the new pitch deck, we kind of personalize each. So when we're going to meet the Rara guest house, we're going to create the pitch deck according to their problem. So what we are going to sell is actually suits their problems. And actually, why not always ask them like, do we sell the service that you need? Do we say it correctly? Do you need this? Can we just to make sure that we give the service that they need? And actually, because at the first meeting, sorry, because at the first time we actually flooring out the problems and telling them, okay, this is your problem based on your bookings. This is your problems, and we would like to try to help you to solve them with our service. And actually, I think they're more engaged. And based from 5 scheduled meetings, 4 of them is already we already sent contracts from four of them, and one is already MOU um, based on Mamayana report. I think that's it, Kak Bayu.
Okay, that's really good. Maybe my question is how can we apa ya namanya take a note of their behavior. Basically, is it a good behavior or not? You say that they are more engaged, right? What is the indicator for that? Are they asking question, or are they stopping you and then asking deeper question? I think that that kind of interaction we can track. So let's say a hypothesis: if the partner asking stopping you to talk and then they ask deeper question, that means that they really interested in what we are doing, right? So it, that result we can use to create the next version of the pitch deck. Okay, so that's okay. That we can discuss on the pitch deck Scrum. Yeah. Okay. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good project for the partnership pitch deck. We are running out of time. Actually, it's 4 minutes over. So I would like to maybe I would just ask for anyone here, for anyone that hasn't present their project and their pivot. Is there anything that you think you want to talk about and extend this meeting for, let's say, 5 minutes? No? Okay, all this pivot don't have any. Yes, Jing.
Bayu, I'm gonna suggest a new policy for discussions, right? So a non-response is not a response, right? So please either respond in the affirmative or respond in the negative. So that way we know, especially when you're chairing. A non-response doesn't mean yes, it doesn't mean no, it means nothing actually. So if you have nothing to say, then just maybe give a I don't know, thumbs up. If you have something to say, then just give a hand, for example, right? And that way we can see what everyone does. So, Bayu, I'll let you administer that. Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sharon. That's good. What about everyone? Is there anything important about your pivot that we need to discuss? Results good. Oops, I cannot see that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Better, yeah.
So that's good. Then everything has been discussed. Everything that needs to be discussed together. That's it from me. We haven't covered the discussion, but let's see. There's no new discussion. Yeah, and we haven't talked about the next week's priority, right? So, okay. Let's see. Okay, here's what we are going to do. I'm going to tag you on the discussion paper, and then we will continue the discussion on the paper. Is that good for everyone? Okay. Thank you everyone for joining this meeting. Gani, please don't forget to upload the video and announce it on the group. And Jing, you have
a few things. Thank you, Bayu. Thank you for the time. Yes, I know we're over time, but I want to emphasize a few points because I think these are good practices, especially when the team gets larger, right? And I just want to revisit some of the things that I saw. First thing is please give feedback to the chair so that the chair understands what exactly is going to happen, right? So just as we saw earlier, Sharon, thank you very much. Some sort of engagement is better than no engagement. We will assume that no engagement means you're probably not here, right? And if you do affirm in the positive, give some sort of signal. The chair, I think, can help by creating two signals. Can say, hey, if you agree, thumbs up. If you disagree, thumbs down. Or if you're okay, thumbs up. If you're not okay, hands up, right? So that gives us some signals to work with. That's one. Two, I want to also bring up the fact that I saw a really good implementation of the core value of be the hero. So there was that talk just earlier about the freelancer, and I think Rizal was getting into a chicken and the egg situation, right? Do we have a contractor? Do we have a freelancer? So I'd like to share an anecdote from history. Alexander the Great, famous Greek conqueror, he goes to a city where the city officials present him a problem. They say that we have this really tangled knot here and no one's been able to effectively untangle this knot. So he looks at the knot. It looks like kind of a silly question. So he takes out his sword and he just cuts the knot in half, and it just untangles right there. He said, "I solved the problem." So that, I think, is actually a very good hallmark of leadership, and that's what we mean by be the hero. Sometimes we need to just get it done so that we don't keep on like getting bogged behind blocking questions and blocking solutions and on these things, and just make that progress so that we can move to the next stage. So, Bayu, I'd like to acknowledge you for that. The other thing I'd like to acknowledge was Erico. Erico spoke about like this idea, which I really appreciate. When you have an idea, you're like, I can fix this, right? Try to see your idea all the way to the end, right? So Erico talked about she would then go and look at the WhatsApp and see what the response is to see if her solution is actually working. That, I think, is a really, really good practice. The reason that's a good practice is because if you do, it's another being the hero moment, right? If you delegate to somebody else and that person delegates to somebody else, or if you delegate to across the SLA on a new idea, remember SLAs are meant for production capability, right? They're meant for when we things, putting things into massive amounts of operational daily use. But when you come up with a new idea, you're not in production mode yet. You are in experimental mode. So instead of putting it in and expecting somebody on the other side of the SLA will cover it, try covering it yourself. Prove that the idea works. Say, hey, look, I did this myself, and I realized I was able to convert 50% more inquiries or get us faster results than anything else. And I did this, and I know this, right? And then that is another way you can be the hero, cut the Gordian knot, and resolve the uncertainty. Because you can go back and say, hey, look, I have the results here. The proof is right here. We can put this into production, okay? Rather than shifting like, okay, you do this, you're on this side of the SLA and such. That's the second thing. So Erico, good job on that one. And the last thing I'd like to say is this idea about getting transparent, getting succinct. I heard Wayana was beginning a story about blah, 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 but we were kind of running out of time, so we needed to get to the point really quickly. So Bayu shifted quickly over to Kyla, and Kyla was able to give the point. So that is also a good practice, I think, as well. When you're reporting here, get to your point quickly. We don't want to hear the story. We don't want to hear the build-up. Just get to like the key fact, right? Did this actually change anything? If not, why do you think it didn't? Who else should know about that, right? And that way we can have, I think, very effective to the point conversations, especially since this is only an hour and there's so many people here. Okay, so 3 good points I picked up during this discussion. Hopefully this will uplift the culture of this group and give you guys something to inspire delight on your next discussion. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Jing, for the acknowledgement and encouragement. By the way, we actually missed one thing again in this meeting, right? The next chairperson. So I'd like to assign a chairperson actually to chair this Scrum next week. I'd like to nominate one of the interns. I'd like to nominate Kyla to chair this Scrum next week, right? I think you haven't chaired a Scrum, right? The interns here haven't been chairing the Scrum. So, Kyla, did you accept the nomination to chair the Scrum next week?
Okay, actually, that's interesting, and I'd like to try, Kak. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, so I have written a few points on this week's priority. Like the online canvassing, we need to prioritize the quality again regarding the approaches, the approach method that we do, and then for Rizal to release the friction on the freelance. And I will also add some more point in, and you can also add some point if you think that it's very important for the chapter, or if it's just moderately important, please write it down there, and then we will open for discussion. Okay, that's it then. That's it for today. Next week's chairperson is Kyla. Please prepare the discussion beforehand and what we are talking about. So, okay, see you then. See you everyone.